Here, firstly, we will talk about lymph. So, what is lymph? The word lymph came from the Latin word lympha, which means water or water-like. And it gets this name because of its resemblance to water or body fluids. As lymph is another liquid connective tissue of our body, just like blood, and it is formed from the interstitial fluid that is filtered from the blood capillaries. When blood passes via blood capillaries in the tissues, 9/10 of fluid passes into the venous end of capillaries from the arterial end. I am not discussing tissue capillary exchange here. We have already discussed it in detail. Here our main focus is on the lymphatic system only. So, when 9/10 is passed, then the remaining 1/10 of the fluid passes into lymph capillaries, which have more permeability than blood capillaries. How this happens? We have discussed it in detail later in this video, under mechanism of lymph flow. And when this fluid enters lymphatics, now it no longer remains interstitial fluid, but now it is called lymph. And when we say 1/10 of filtered capillary fluid passes to lymphatics, that means the composition of lymph is more or less similar to that of interstitial fluid, including protein content. Because proteins present in the interstitial fluid cannot enter blood capillaries, but they can enter lymphatic capillaries because of their permeability or larger pore size. Also, tissue fluid in the liver and gastrointestinal tract contains more protein and lipid substances. So, proteins and lipids enter the lymph vessels of the liver and gastrointestinal tract in large quantities. Thus, lymph in larger vessels has more proteins and lipids. From this discussion, we got just an idea about the composition of lymph. Let's look at its composition in depth. Usually, lymph is a clear and colorless fluid. It is formed by 96% water, and the remaining 4% are solids. That 4% solid is further divided into organic substances and inorganic substances. Here, the organic substances includes proteins, about 2 to 6%, mainly albumins, globulins, and clotting factors. Lipids, about 5% to 15%, mainly in the form of chylomicrons and lipoproteins. Then carbohydrates, amino acids, and non-protein nitrogenous substances are also included in organic substances present in lymph. Then the inorganic substances present in lymph may include sodium, calcium, potassium, chlorides, and bicarbonates. Other than these organic and inorganic substances, some amount of cellular components is also a part of lymph. That mainly includes lymphocytes and also some macrophages and plasma cells. So, this was all about the composition of lymph. Now, have a look at the functions of lymph. First, the important function of lymph is to return the proteins from tissue spaces into the blood via lymphatic vessels. Then, it is also responsible for the redistribution of fluid in the body as well, obviously by maintaining a balance between fluid filtered from the capillaries and fluid reabsorbed by the capillaries. Without lymph, this balance shifts towards fluid filtered. That means filtered fluid is usually more than the amount of fluid reabsorbed at the capillary level. So, this lymph drainage balances this fluid distribution by absorbing excessive fluid and thus prevents excessive fluid accumulation. Also, lymph provides protection against foreign agents. As bacteria, toxins, and other foreign bodies are removed from tissues via lymph through the help of lymph nodes. We'll understand it in detail under lymph nodes. Other than that, lymph flow serves as an important route for intestinal fat absorption through specialized lymphatics called lacteals. This is why lymph appears milky after a fatty meal. And lastly, this lymph plays an important role in immunity by transport of lymphocytes that are important WBC against foreign or invading substances. So, these all were some important functions of lymph, or we can say of the overall lymphatic system. By this, we end our discussion about lymph.
Explore our extensive library of over 1,800 video lectures to learn about a wide range of topics. Only on sqadia.com.